Yeah,
Thanks for
this
reaching
wasn't
out.
even really an interview. It was just more like a conversation, pretty much. I
Hell yeah,
mean,
dude.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And I'm 22 right now. When I was about
Uh,
16 or 17, 4 or 5 years ago,
mhm,
I started getting into music production,
mhm.
and then I started to make the things that I liked, kind
Uh-huh,
of when I was a kid.
uh-huh.
When I wanted to like hear the things
Mhm,
that I like got goosebumps from,
mhm,
that weren't just with one instrument or
mhm,
weren't just with one genre. I started to experiment and do stuff that I
mhm,
like to do, and
mhm.
it got into this production game, and I fell in love with it, and
Uh-huh.
to this day, yeah.
That. Alrighty, cool. All right, so now the next question is well, okay, so next question is, so what do you think were some things on the educational side of things that you think prepared you for where you currently stand as a producer?
I was looking at the questions that you had, and
Uh-huh,
this one was stumping me. I was thinking about this before
uh-huh,
the interview, dude,
uh-huh.
because I am a little resentful of a lot of organized educational things. I think a lot of it is slow.
Mm,
Um, I went through a couple of classes in public high school in the U.S., and I did some private colleges in the U.S.,
mm,
and um, they weren't on the most efficient side of learning. I didn't connect with them 100%. Um, that being said, that I did gain a lot of things from that, and the big one was music theory. I
mm,
think that I learned music theory in public high school,
mm.
and to start off there, it wasn't the most perfect thing.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't my favorite thing at the time. It wasn't the best way of teaching
Mm,
how those things could be taught at all.
mm,
But I'm glad that it was taught early.
mm.
I think it gave me a framework to work ahead. Like doing music theory for like the modern producer is something that I want everybody to have. I think it's
Right,
so helpful,
right.
to just organize everything that you're doing. I'm gonna release a course for Frogtone at some point, just like our own private educational thing, and that is a huge part, and it's been there ever since. Ever
Uh-huh.
since then, music theory was a huge one that that I.
Yeah, even because when I was originally like interested in getting into production and things like that, um, yeah, a lot of the suggestions that was because you always Google things like, oh, what do you need to be this or what do you need to be that.
Mhm.
Yeah, music theory was like what was in a lot of the things I saw. So
Yeah,
I didn't get into guitar, but I got it to I started learning how to play the piano. So that
there
yeah,
we go.
so just so that you can understand how chords and progressions and all that kind of stuff works out and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And well, that's great though, man, because that's probably the good part about music theory that I like is you have like something to put your ideas on
right,
instead of just like being, like when you're putting stuff in MIDI rolls and like instruments, it's
right,
slow a lot of the time.
right,
And when you have like theory or an instrument to play, it's a quick access to those, and
right,
it's just much more efficient
right,
in working and stuff. That's the whole point of it all, is to get the
right.
ideas out and stuff, just something to help that. So yeah,
That,
man, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Okay. Next question is, hold on, give me a second.
It's Dondi, by the way, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
All
so
right,
my full name is Adonia, but like people just call me Doni because
right.
my name brings about a lot of confusion in many people. So I just keep it Doni for short. And that's actually what I go by professionally as well. Like in producing, it's just Doni. Um,
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is, what do you or okay? And actually, no. Let me go back to that question first. First, let me ask. Okay, so what do you think personally makes the field of music production interesting? As in,
Yeah,
what,
that
what
was
separates it from just
yeah.
or what separates it from, say, for example, being I don't know, just an instrumentalist or just an artist. What makes it different?
Yeah, absolutely. There is something about it that I like a lot more than kids coming up and being instrumentalists, kids coming up and being like choir kids and singing and I don't know, I guess more traditional roles of any type of music or culture. And the main thing, I don't think there's anything inherently about music production and beat making, you could say, that's better over time.
Mhm.
But right now it's new and
Right.
kids are on it and
Right.
it's unexplored and there's new ideas happening
Right.
and it feels like it's where things are happening to me, and
Uh,
it's like ours.
mhm.
You know, and
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
like yeah, it's not something. Yeah, I feel like we could put our creativity in it, and it feels like connected to us. Feels
Right,
fresher and newer to me. Yeah, I don't think there's anything like inherently rich about any type of art form or something like that, but uh, like definitely like the thing where we need to be right now. It's what's exciting me,
right,
and it's what's exciting a lot of people. So yeah,
right.
and there's other areas doing that, but
Mhm,
be making and kind of music production's the big one right now. I think a lot of
right,
people are getting it, so it's
right.
ours at least.
Right. Okay. Next one. Okay. Even I mean that kind of segued right into another question I had. So, what are your thoughts on the rise of interest in music production as of recently? Where say you know, I won't say back in the day because I'm still kind of young myself, but like
Mm.
a couple maybe about a decade or so ago, people wanted to be the next uh, the next big, artist, your next big,
Yeah, I know
Kanye
what you're
West,
saying.
or your next big Beyonce or whatever. And now you kind of see, more people, especially, within like say the 2010s where, you have people, especially in terms of like, trap music and that kind of, in that scene where a lot of, or I won't say a lot of the times, but you kind of notice that like, some of the producers on some of the biggest tracks get almost the same amount of recognition as the artists themselves, like with your Pierre Bournes or your Tay Keiths or Metro Boomin or people like that. So what are your thoughts on the rise and popularity of music production as of recently?
Yeah, man. So well, for one, that it's been in that innovation cycle, like I said in the previous question, for like a good period of time now. That we're having widely distributed tools to do it, and everybody can get on and get on a computer and be like, I don't like that, I'm gonna make this.
Right.
And then that just organically grew into like every cool sound that we have now that is moving us. When you have like the big people like that, like you said, like producers, or even at like a certain point as like the artists and stuff like that, it's just like that growing and being richer
Right.
of moving in to itself and its genre and whatever it is. Is that your question exactly? I just want to make sure I got
Oh
it.
yeah, it was just kind of like, yeah, what are your thoughts on just like the yeah, I guess the popularizing of music producers like almost on the same level as an artist, in that kind of sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, yeah. Even more focus. I could say that like that having people like Metro Boomin make his own album and stuff,
Right.
and maybe it was a huge thing of producer tags, and
Right.
I think you have a question later that gets on the topic of producers not of being as valued
Right.
as
Right.
artists and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the other side of that coin. I
Yeah.
think maybe little things for some reason, like we're feeling like we like the music just as much as the artist, but
Right.
like the producer tag helped in that so much. Like
Right.
imagine how crazy that is
Right.
of a thing that like now the dude behind the booth got shouted out, and the thing's hot once that
Right.
Metro Boomin comes
Right.
in there and stuff like
Right.
that. So yeah, man, a huge part is the producers. Is that your next question, by the way? I
Okay,
can go
yeah, I
into
kind of
that.
can't go into that. I mean, that's a good point though, because I mean, like, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it like that, but like, yeah, even with like some of the biggest or the the most popular songs of all time, most people probably wouldn't know who actually was behind it. Like, I don't know, if somebody was listening to a Michael Jackson track, most people probably, unless you do your research, most people probably gonna know what it is. But
Yeah,
again, if you take, Magnolia by Playboy Cardi, everybody knows who
yeah,
that is. So yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point as well. So yeah, I guess like, yeah, I can kind of go into the next question as well on whether you think to an extent, yeah, like while you still have your like your popular producers, do you still think a lot of like say um, more underground producers? Do you think that like maybe producers that might not say have as much recognition on their belt as say like your more popular producers, do you still think some of them are like really underrated or don't receive as much recognition?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out a couple producers that I like too, but even those big producers don't like get the recognition, and
Right,
we can't be resentful of that if we've
right,
been
right, right,
players
right,
in
right.
this game.
Yeah.
That this is a game of line to tread. I can't
Right,
get all pissed off, but like
right,
I'm the guy behind the scenes. That's what we're
right,
all signing up for.
Uh-huh.
But regardless, like Quincy Jones was the dude behind Michael Jackson, you
Right.
know? And
Right.
like if you like beat making, like you
Uh-huh.
gotta listen to Quincy Jones. It'll just help. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's not that it's like homework or anything,
Uh-huh.
like you have to be good. But
Right.
like if you get to the point where you're like, I want to explore what the dude behind Travis's stuff is,
Uh-huh.
it's Mike Dean. Like I love Mike Dean. A lot of the Kanye stuff and Travis stuff that I like is
Uh-huh.
Mike Dean.
Uh-huh.
So like figuring out even like mainstream producers, like looking behind there of what they're doing behind the main artist is super helpful just to like explore the,
Uh-huh.
the field and being inspired by the stuff. Like Mike Dean's solo stuff is awesome, dude. It's
Uh-huh.
crazy. And it's just like he's the part I like about Travis and Kanye, but
Uh-huh.
whatever it is. Yeah, like producers not like coming up yet. Yeah, just like new people who are starting things. God, there's so many good music. There's so much good music out there, man,
Uh-huh.
that like is just doesn't happen to fit the right story to be pop or something like that.
Right.
But it's so talented. A huge
Right.
one. It was big a couple years ago in the SoundCloud era. But OTX Hello is a
Uh-huh.
producer that is the like cleanest producer and composer that I've heard recently. Like the modern way of sounding good and clean. I'm inspired so much by OTX Hello. I don't know what exactly the secrets are yet. I'm still like a mountain that this guy is at. I don't know, but it's so inspiring and he's doing Lil Skies and Lil Tecca stuff now. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
This dude is so big on SoundCloud. They're like, okay, this dude knows what he's doing.
Right.
And so he's starting to get there. He's starting to get to the big one. He's a great producer. And another one, I think it's not producer exactly. I'm gonna finish up this question. I know I got a long answer, but
No problem.
um,
No problem.
cool. It's I like a lot of like underground like jazz people
Mm,
now for like jazz stuff
mm,
that are like that should be influencing production more than they are. I think that one of the craziest produced records of the past 10 years maybe was well every Kendrick Lamar album, right?
right.
And there was uh you know things on there and deep parts in that music that nobody's getting to like in especially in a lot of differentiating like very simple like trap beats that we all kind of can get over and feel are the same or monotonous a bit. The first level of monotony is pushed by jazz harmony so much, and I'm telling you, if people get into it's hard to get into because you got to know like theory and you
Uh-huh.
got to know all this. But if
Uh-huh.
you genuinely like jazz and stuff and chords, getting into some of these jazz cats will just like I mean I'm just starting off doing it, but it's just another area that is underrepresented and adds so much to all music. So Moonchild is a huge jazz artist and
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
that I like.
yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
fuck with Moonchild? Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I love them, man.
yeah,
Their stuff is nuts.
yeah.
Yeah, everything's together and stuff with that
Nice.
stuff, man. Yeah, getting into harmony. Yeah,
Mm,
inspired by that. So yeah, OTX Hello and Moonchild, I'd say
nice.
some underrated producers.
Nice. All right, bet. Even okay, so now yeah, it seems like again each each question is kind of leading into the next question like unintentionally, but
Bet,
it's kind of
bet.
working out though. So I guess kind of next question would be who are some artists or some producers you yourself would be interested in working with as well?
Yeah. So OTX Hello and Moonchild.
I kind of answered the question already.
um, no, I mean, yeah, that would be up there. Some new ones that are kind of not huge artists
Right.
yet. Maybe I don't know. I'm thinking it's off the top. I want to work with everybody that I could. Um, I don't know. I want to see what Kenny Beats can do. You know,
Right.
I'm just interested because I've seen too many YouTube videos of his. I want to know how to produce like him. I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty sure he's inspired by a lot of the same guys I'm inspired by,
Mm.
and I've heard a lot of his stuff. But it would be cool to work with him just to see like what's going on for a day. That'd be a cool one.
Yeah, Jay,
Uh,
I'm such like a huge fan of it. Have you heard of the Cave series?
Cage Theories.
No, no, no. Kenny Beats. He has like a little series. It's called The Cave. Have you
Oh
heard?
yeah, no, yeah, I know the cave. I know
Yeah.
you said the cave
Sorry.
theories. I
I'm
was like,
sorry.
but yeah, dude, I fuck with the cave so much, man. I watched that.
Yeah.
All that thing is
Insane.
amazing. Yeah, it's straight with the artists and everything
Yeah.
too. It's
Yeah.
crazy. He's the
Yeah.
police, bro. Kenny's the police. On the
Yeah.
show, bro.
Yeah.
He is, dude.
Yo, the episode with Vince was the best one, hands down. Not
Yeah,
even close.
man.
Not
Ah,
even
dude,
close.
that was fucking hilarious, man. I love that one.
Yeah. All right,
They
cool.
make some heat there too. But yeah, I'd say Kenny for
Yeah.
the question.
All right, cool. So next question. All right, let me see, which one should I go into next? Okay, I'm gonna go into, all right. So next question I'll ask is, okay. So now, turning to you personally now in terms of your personal what's the word I'm looking for? Your personal stuff as a producer and things like that. How would you describe your own personal, like, creative process, and how do you translate whatever ideas you have, like, into, full beats or songs or whatever, projects you have working on?
This is different than everybody else's probably. Everybody that I've met and worked with, there are people who can make things so much better than me that do things totally different.
Mhm.
But I have never had it work out where sitting down and being analytical about coming up with ideas worked. I have to like get into a computer and just start humming things and start hearing things,
Mm,
and then throwing that stuff together. My whole process has been trying to make as quickly as possible it possible for me to just like hear something new or to hear a new little thing of chords
mm,
and to hum over that and get that melody in as quick
mhm,
as possible and move on to something else just to throw as much. It's kind of like constantly freestyling, but I don't
mhm,
have like words
mm,
to say, right? So I have to
right,
like have it musically, and it's freestyling on every instrument kind of, right? And like
right,
trying to have yeah, like a little bass part that comes up next, or just any drum thing, section to section movement, any idea that comes out. I'm trying to have that go as quick as possible because I think all the great ideas that I've had so far, it could change, who knows,
uh,
is that, but what has reliably produced good results for me so far and
mm,
been pretty useful
mm,
was when I didn't think about it and I just had one of the million ideas that I had, and
mm,
then one of those happened to be a diamond in the
mm,
rough. And it wasn't, I did it for so long growing up, man, like trying to make music. I would be like, okay, I have this chart, and then here's this amount of contrast for this section, and then this section would be like 2 bars long, and then that'll be 3 bars because that'll be unstable. And it was terrible. All the
right.
music I made was terrible.
Mm.
And the worst part about it, dude, I thought it was good. So I tried to convince other people that it was good because I'm like, I wrote all this down. I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. Like it would work, but just not here. And shit like
All
that.
right.
Terrible, dude. But it was a terrible way of looking at things. It was
Mm,
terrible. So getting over that, like having a process where it's just like you're playing. It's really just like, yeah, play. It's like when you're building blocks as a kid or something like that,
right,
or you're like playing with tag with friends. That's like collab stuff. You're just
right.
like something shared and coming up with something and trying to build something. So yeah, I'm like tapping on my keyboard keys a lot of the time to just get chords out there, and just it's all humming stuff in my head, and then like boom boom ka, boom boom.
Right.
Yeah, I have a whole video on the channel that's just me making a random beat, and the
Mm,
beat's okay, but it's
mm,
just like that process too. It's
right.
yeah, that's all you see me doing is just boom boom,
Mm.
or like doo 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 doo.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, even so, a follow-up question to that, because I know, like I haven't even like really talked to too many producers like that, like just in general. But okay, so a question is, so how do you personally, because I have my own way of doing this, but I just want to hear from somebody else as well. What
Yeah.
do you do in the scenario? Okay, so I'm gonna paint the scene here. All right, so you're
Yes.
out
Yes.
in public, right? You're out in public, just I don't know, eating some nachos at a restaurant, and then an idea comes into your head. What do you do? So
Voice
that's
recorder, man.
what do you do
Just
so that the idea does not slip away from your head? Because if you
exactly.
30 seconds, it's over. What do you do?
That is a good ass question. Everybody that I know creatively, from like these crazy art people that I met in college that I hate, to just like these new young crazy producers,
Uh-huh.
they all are like, if you have a phone, lucky enough
Uh-huh.
to have a voice recorder and
Right.
a thing, just
Right.
get it down and record something,
Right.
because that's where it is, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's no difference between when you're eating taco, your brain doesn't care when you're eating tacos or when you're sitting down at a computer.
Right.
Like, that's an idea, man. Like,
Right.
that thing is happening, whatever it is. Even if you think of like instruments in your head and melodies and
Mm,
stuff, like, hum those, man. Like,
right.
try to get that down as much as you can.
Mm,
That's where you're serious about being creative. Like, people
right.
are like, it's not just like this fun game where
Right.
you can like do stuff sometimes. It's
Right.
like you gotta milk everything that you can out of
Right.
yourself, that
Yeah.
that comes out of yourself, and listen, or else if it's just gone.
Right.
Dude, I have some buddies, man. They're brilliant freestylers.
Uh-huh.
These dudes just freestyle in their car and never record it. I'm like, you don't know how many bars you just spit out into the open air
Uh-huh.
and are gone. So get them
Right.
down. Get them down, bro. That's a good
Right.
ass question. Get
Right.
them down. Get a voice recorder if you can.
Right.
Just remember something. Run to your computer if you need to, or write down lyrics or something.
Right.
Got to get it down. Mm.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Next question is okay, now switching more towards or even still it's still kind of about, you personally. So now what are your thoughts um on yeah, using, the wide variety of platforms that are, out now, such as YouTube, like, that you're on, for producers to market yourselves because, as we were, kind of talking before about, um yeah, the rise of SoundCloud producers and things like that, where now there's this huge big community on YouTube now that that's come up as of late.
Mm.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on just using those kinds of avenues to market for producers to market themselves and hopefully have the next big artist
Yeah.
possibly use some of their work just off from something they found off of YouTube and things like that.
Absolutely. So first thing I'd say is, yeah, if the end goal is that you're working with artists that you like, you're making art that you like, I think all that you can do right now, short of getting lucky, is
Mm,
build your influence. Like, just
mm,
build numbers
right,
on your stuff and have
right,
people like it, right? So how
right.
do we get there? I don't know the solution to all of these problems, but I
Uh-huh.
do know a few,
Mm,
and I think I know a pattern about how to do things like it. So I would say find any community, any little place where you could be compared to other people in, that there's
mm,
other people and there's something happening and people go there by their own will. It's not like,
right.
I don't know, high school, like beat tournaments or something like that. It's like a SoundCloud community,
Mm,
a small DAW on YouTube that was mine,
mm,
that I knew about.
uh-huh.
Anything that you could be at the top of that community with,
Mm,
right? So find people to compare yourself to. That's like setting you up in the world. That's putting your feet somewhere,
mm,
right? That's bare minimum. Doesn't need to be your favorite thing. I'm not going to be making soundtrack videos for the rest of my life,
uh-huh.
right? It's
Right.
I mean, I love the thing, trust me. like I, I want to do stuff with that,
Right.
but it's not just like the exact same type of videos
Uh-huh.
forever, but it's something, and you got your feet on the ground,
Mm,
and then be where you could be the top dog in that field.
mm,
And once you have that, then growing that niche and just being about that niche. I heard that from a lot of business people growing up. It's like,
right.
find a niche that you have and
Mm,
just dominate that thing. Try to be as good as you can in that niche. And then build influence from there. And then if you're at the top of these niches, that's a whole different story. But
mm,
I'd say, yeah, and that was the pattern that I followed too. Sorry about
mm,
that. That was the pattern that I followed too. I didn't have a SoundCloud community that I could instantly go to, that I felt comfortable with. I didn't have, I don't know, like a local community or like a venue. That might be one that, like, you could be the hot guy at the venue at, or
mm,
something like that.
right.
I knew soundtracks I did in high school, and I've worked with like a few people who had done it, and
Mm,
I thought I could do it really, really well and better than a lot of people. And the whole reason why I've grown any little bit of influence from the channel that
mm,
I have so far, how you found out about me, how we're having this
right.
thing right now,
Right.
was because of, like, I'm ranking for how to have vocals in soundtrap.
Mm, right.
I'm trying to be, and am almost pretty successful in being the top guy
Mm,
on Soundtrap on YouTube, you
right.
know? So it's just finding a niche that you have, whatever it is musically. SoundCloud community is a big one, but it's
Mm,
hard. Or Bandcamp's making moves right
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah,
Bandcamp's
yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
some stuff happening on Bandcamp.
Uh-huh.
There's a few people that did it on TikTok, even though that's so competitive too now.
Right,
It's so hard,
right.
right? Like
Yeah,
there's so many people now, man. It used to be
right.
easy probably 5 years ago, but now it's like there's billions of videos or whatever on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. So whatever, and do a small one, like have like there's not that many people making soundtrack videos on YouTube, and
right.
that's where I went to, man. So
Mm,
just anything to be the top dog in that community
mm,
that's to me the first step in all this. And then once you have that, growing your numbers,
mm,
growing your influence from there, you have
mm.
opportunities when you're the top person at a
Right,
thing, I
right,
think. And
right.
then that sets it up for yourself. And then you just do that until you get lucky. And Little Skies hears your stuff after a
Right.
couple years, right? And then
Yeah,
wants to work with you. So I think that's what I'll say for now. It could always change.
right,
Nothing's definite, but
right.
um yeah, that's something that's been useful for me and
All
has
right.
worked for me. Yeah.
Right. All right, cool. All right, next question is, okay, wait, hold on, let me check that one off as well. All right, yeah, so next question is, yeah, so again, staying on the topic of you specifically, where do you see yourself as a producer, or what is your end goal as a producer? What is it that you must do before you can kick back and put your feet up on the sofa and say, I've done what I needed to do.
Yeah, man, that is years down the line for me.
Right.
I'm just at the beginning with what I think I want to do with this stuff, and I'm glad at the pace it's going, but
Mm,
we're in it for a marathon, man.
right.
How old are you, by the way? I
Oh,
just
I'm
want to ask.
17.
Yeah, 17, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 22. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Dude, listen, there's 5 years of difference between you and I.
Right.
That's a world of difference already.
Right.
All right, here's something that's gonna blow your mind though, dude. Because how old do you think Childish Gambino is?
Childish
Off the top of your
Gambino,
head.
he's like what? He's like 30 something, I think, right?
Bro, he's 38 right now.
What?
He's
Why am I
38
thinking
years
he's
old.
like 33 or like early 30s or something? Bro, that's old. Oh my goodness.
Bro, he's old as shit. He's
Right.
almost 40, dude. Dude, and I felt like he's like almost like my peer, a little bit older, you
Uh,
know? Like
right,
this dude's old as fuck. But
right.
here's my thing, man, is I've seen interviews with that guy. He's just now getting to the point where he's like, I'm doing real things that I like.
Mm,
Before I die things.
right.
I'm having these concerts that I love. I'm
Mm,
learning to dance, he says, and he's making albums that he loves.
right,
He did Atlanta, the TV show, which he loves. He's just getting to that point where this
right,
dude's starting off.
right.
And we can't compare ourselves to that right now.
True.
So we got so much time to do this.
Right,
Like hella time. Bro,
right,
bro, he's got 21 years on you.
right.
That's nuts.
Insane.
Dude, people say you got to master shit after 10 years. This
Right.
dude has had double that length before us. It's
Hmm.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
But to answer the question, what I'm sorry I talked too much, bro. But
No,
what
it's cool. It's
exactly?
cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Cool, cool, cool. But exactly what I want to do by the time I'm like that. Man, I just want to have like one album that is like widely appreciated, just
Hmm.
like an experience that's like nothing else. I just want
Hmm.
to fucking have that album, just like
Right.
one thing that's it's like massive. You know how like there's some classic like rock albums that
Right.
like people still fuck with today, like
Right.
that Pink Floyd album, Dark
Right.
Side of the Moon. You know that
Right.
shit?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like stuff like that. If
Mm.
I could make that, that would be fucking amazing. I would love
Right.
that so much. And then I want to do a lot of live shows. I played a
Mm.
lot of live shows growing up with guitar, and I want to
Mm.
do it for like my personal music again,
Mm.
and like have those and the energy of the new stuff come
Mm.
out. And
Right.
yeah, I definitely want to grow like just as an artist. Like I definitely want to do that before
Mm.
I die. Like that's always the end goal to
Mm.
all this stuff. What's behind all
Mm.
the tutorials and all
Mm.
the technical stuff.
Right.
It's making good shit and feeling good with
Right.
music. But a big one on like some other fronts, like just really quick, was like I want to build a college alternative that is
Mm.
more accessible and less fucking expensive
Right.
than like US private college because that
Right.
shit was terrible. I think
Mm.
it's robbing so many people. It could be such a valuable asset to people like us who
Mm.
actually like music and
Right.
can take people and
Right.
help them learn. But
Mm.
I've been through this system, man, and it is not efficient or
Mm.
helpful at all at doing
Mm.
that,
Right.
and it's way too expensive.
Mm.
I'd want to make, you know, I'm gonna make my like frog tone branded course a while, but I want to grow the idea of just educating people about music
Mm,
so much
mm,
into like, globally things. I want to have something on the internet that's that's learning and kind of like an own private university type thing.
mm.
And I want it to be credible. Like I want it to be a good
Right,
one,
right,
and not to
right,
just be like Beat Academy or something. And then you're
right.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I want them to be hard and for only certain people to get in. I want them to
Uh,
be like I want to make like artists. I want to have like, like Travis Scott like
yeah,
coming up and be like, okay,
yeah,
who's the graduating class of the craziest music
right.
producers today?
Mm,
And then just have some great stuff and for people
mm,
to learn.
yeah.
Those would be the two ones. I want my personal ego.
Uh,
I wanna make my music, man. I wanna have this out there.
right.
And then I wanna do education. I just want like that to exist because that's a problem in the
Mm,
world
right,
right now
right,
around the stuff that I know. So yep,
right.
those are two.
I mean, even on the topic of education, um, because they're even yeah, so like, at the moment, since I should be graduating next year, my mom's been like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? How are you doing? And like I
Yeah,
personally I like have been trying to like convince her to like, I don't really want to go to college like that, and this
yeah.
and that. Yeah, just
Show her
because
the
like,
bill.
huh?
Show her the bills.
Yeah, for real. I'm telling you, out of the research I have been
Yeah,
doing, man, look, I was like, okay, because like when I was like maybe like 3, 4 years ago, when I was like, just getting into music and this and that, and well, in terms of like, a serious thing, and I was, looking at, schools and whatever, and I was looking at Berkeley and things like that. And it's like, bro, this is like somebody's like yearly income right here just to go for like one semester. And it's like, and then on
yeah.
top of that, then I don't know, have you seen the movie Whiplash?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, then I watched Whiplash and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to some strict school where somebody yells at me for not getting something right. Things like that.
I wanna pay $200,000 for that shit, dude.
Exactly.
Uh,
So like it's like, I mean, yeah, of course it's like not that I personally think that like,
mm,
somebody who goes to like, music school or whatever is like, oh, you're funding the system or this and that or whatever. Like, I understand, there's stuff to be gained, like, as you say, in terms of, like your music theory and stuff like that, there's good stuff to to learn from those kind of stuff. But I'm like, I'm also like, well, like, you know, of course, creativity and all that kind of stuff, all of that is objective. And, again, stuff like, especially like a lot of with like a lot of the artists
yeah.
that, are popular today. Again, none of
Mhm.
them went to music school or anything like that. They just, did what they needed to do
Yeah.
on the platform and took off with that. So, okay. So I guess my question is,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. So do you think personally that like someone who goes into music school has a better chance of of making it big than someone who doesn't go to music school?
Yeah. I'll also answer this question talking to your mom because I feel like we've made her nervous so far. And trust me, I think this field, music making, right, isn't a bunch of stoners who are
Right,
just wanting to make their creativity,
right,
right? I think there is incredible skill
mm,
that would amaze like, there's incredible mastery and skill that needs to be
right,
had here,
right,
and college is simply not efficient
mm,
at doing that long term.
mm,
And you want to plan where you can make music, say, for living, you pay a full-time income
mm,
with, and the sky's the limit with that stuff, but you make a full-time income bare enough
mm,
so that you can support yourself and be
right,
stable and secure,
right,
okay? The fastest way to get there might not, and often I've found in the final analysis, is not to have $200,000 in loans
mm,
for 4 years of study
right,
that isn't as efficient as
right,
listening actively on SoundCloud even,
right,
right? Just like
right,
listening to things and practicing.
right.
That was the question, right? By the way,
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
end?
yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's it, is like, yeah, look at the long-term thing, look at how much you're gonna be paying, what you're gonna be paying for,
Right.
get testimonials from real people, like
Right.
try to talk to people who have actually done it
Right.
and see what's the best thing, and it's
Right.
just another solution.
Right.
And my whole goal with this is that people think that college is like you have to go there if you're going to be real.
Right.
Like you have to like that's legitimizing you or something
Right.
like that. You have to go and do that.
Right.
I think numbers legitimize you. Like I
Right.
think results legitimize you.
Yeah.
Being effective at this stuff is,
Right.
and almost everybody who has those amounts has gone a different path
Right.
in a shorter time
Mm.
than a 4-year university.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's not something to totally throw away. It's
Right.
good for some people.
Right.
It might be fun. You could party a lot, maybe, right?
Right.
but
Right.
but yeah, man, don't. That's the only thing that I don't like about it is that I don't feel like you have to do it to be successful.
Right.
It's totally not the case. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. So even yeah, because even yeah, so even like yeah, with me personally, like the thing where I'm kind of like
Mhm.
looking at even like or even slightly considering is like maybe going to like an institute for like one of the like a short term like diploma course or something like that. Because like where I'm at
Yeah.
now is like okay now well I guess yeah what I'm trying to go for is like understanding like the industry level software like
Mhm.
but so it's like because I want to figure out how to properly use your FL Studios and your
Mhm.
Logics and your Abletons and things like that
Yeah.
my my expertise in DAWs at the moment is very limited to just like
Mhm.
mainly just like the online platforms like that. So like I'm trying to like now go into again like the more professional and industry standard stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's like yeah, but it's like yeah, but do I want to go to like again a 4-year college just to learn that,
Mhm.
or could I just hit up my boy such and such who knows such and such who knows how this and this and so I guess also yeah connections and who and stuff like that is
Yeah.
important as well.
Really
Um,
quick on that too. A side benefit of doing it for me, which to give college credit,
mm,
I underestimate it
right.
here, is that it kind of gave me 4 years to work on myself.
Mm,
And even if it did nothing or almost actively held me back
mm,
from doing things
uh-huh.
musically because it took up
Right.
too much time in classes or whatever,
Right.
it gave me like 4 years to be like, I don't need to pay bills right now.
Mm,
And I don't need to be responsible for another person or my
mm,
rent or
mm,
my food coming in.
mm,
That was like kind of my baseline life that was taken care of that I could rest back on and
mm,
have this exploration thing and
mm,
take risks, I guess, musically,
uh-huh.
like try different
Right.
things out.
Right.
When you're like, oh, I got to do this and this has to pop within the next 3 years,
Mm,
it's not going to be a creative mindset and
mm,
it'll slow you down a lot.
right.
It's not going to work out like that. You're going to be taking like, oh well, I just got to make all these hot beats on YouTube or something like that. I got to figure out, and you lose yourself in it because then
Right.
it's like a business thing, and you're like, I
Mm,
have to make this business succeed
mm,
before you're even an artist yet,
right.
and and when are we stop being an artist like
Mm,
that? So you're always going to be an artist and stuff, and a 4-year college gives you a chance to be an artist
uh-huh.
for 4 years and just to have like open kind of play without worrying about making music, making money off the thing that you're doing, wanting speed or anything.
Mm.
So yeah, it's something to consider, man. And yeah, like just don't go to Berkeley. That's all I'm saying. Just whatever you do,
Yeah.
don't go
Yeah.
to Berkeley, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Do not have 400,000 or whatever it is in loans.
100%.
It's like 100,000 a year, man.
Right.
It's nuts.
And
It's
then
crazy.
even like, cause I was looking up like some of their summer programs like last year, cause I was like, okay, maybe I can just do a summer program and see what goes there. Even the summer programs are like ridiculous. I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. It's
Yeah,
like,
man.
but it's like,
Tens of thousands.
but it's like obviously okay, y'all cater to like a certain demographic, so it's like it kind of
Yeah,
makes sense, y'all are trying to
yeah,
make a buck, so it's like I understand.
yeah. Not people. That's who they cater to.
Exactly, yeah,
There's
yeah,
some not people in the
right,
world.
right, yeah, yeah, for
But
real.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay, well, I guess you kind of answered the next question where it's like, okay, or unless you had anything else to add about, any tips or recommendations you had for, young people, interested in music production and taking it
Mhm.
as like a career.
Yeah, we kinda did touch on that because I
Yeah,
said, like, be creative and, like, be
yeah,
your own thing, and
yeah.
it's kinda like take risks.
Mhm,
Yeah, man, I think, like, my circle of friends
mhm,
knows me as, like, a very experimental dude, which
mm,
is weird. because I don't like think of I didn't try to be an experimental
Uh,
artist or anything.
right.
But that was the process that I said of just like exploring a lot of things that I think made me so much faster at
Yeah.
making, the music that I like
Mm,
anything, just like trying it out,
mm,
making a bunch of wonky instruments work, or just like seeing what happens if you throw these things together, really sped me up when I was working and learning early on, just to
mm,
be fast with the tools that I had and
mm,
and what the instrument can do, and
mm.
the boundaries, and mainly the speed of getting ideas out, and the just the richness, I guess, of ideas, like playing with chords and stuff,
Right.
and making bad songs a lot, making a lot of bad
Yeah.
songs. Dude, I've made like over like 500 songs, dude. Like I swear to
Wow.
God. And I've like hardly released any. And
Wow.
even that I don't really talk about too much.
Right. Yeah.
Like it all started with me and my boy Chris, like I said, that 5 or 6 years ago when we
Mm,
started getting into production. We
mm,
just started sending files back and forth, trying to impress each other, and that was it for us for a while.
mm,
And when you're early on, just experimenting, if you're lucky, finding someone else to experiment with is
mm,
just super super catalyzing of creativity and depth, and just being a good artist, and
mm.
being knowing what hits and what works and doesn't
Right.
work,
Right.
but failing a lot. It's like anything. Like it's a mastery type skill.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna write a lot of bad stuff, and that's
Mhm.
that's
Right.
really that's okay. like yeah, even within a song, you have
Mm,
so many bad ideas, and then you pick the couple ones out of that, and that's what becomes the hooks and stuff.
mm,
So like yeah, just doing that across many songs and albums. Even I think Quincy Jones recorded like 500 albums. He
mm.
said in his life or something like that.
Wow.
Like 500 albums, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Yeah.
then I think like Picasso painted like 3 oil paintings a day for like his whole life or something.
Mm,
Like it's massive amounts of
yeah.
work. And we know like 2 Picasso paintings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's 2 of them
Yeah.
that work. We know
Yeah.
like 4 Beethoven songs or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But but uh but yeah, man. So just doing a bunch of work,
Mm,
and not being afraid to be like, oh, I'm gonna have this person. This beat has to be the sickest beat in the
right.
world. I'm
Right.
gonna put it out. Just make a bunch of like make the best thing that you could make all the time, and never release stuff. I
Mm,
think that'll make you really good.
mm,
And that's a balance, obviously. Like if you just want to like don't put everything else out, because
right.
it'll be weird. But yeah, man, make a bunch of bad stuff.
Bad.
Fail a lot. That's what I'd recommend.
Bad. Okay. We got two more questions.
Or
So these ones are kind of more just um I won't say less serious questions, but just more random
yeah,
questions. Who are your top five dead or alive artists or producers?
Kanye is at the top. Is
Mm,
my huge one.
mm.
Um,
Are you a
yeah,
fan of the gospel stuff?
not really. I mean, like musically, he's a wacko, dude. But musically, man, but
Mm,
musically, he's got something up there.
yeah, yeah.
That's just. I've always connected with him ever since the first time I heard him. I was like,
Mm.
this is the shit. This is what I like.
I didn't
Uh,
start getting into him until recently because last year I was hanging out with my uncle
yeah,
and we were on the subway and we were talking about rap music and this and that and he asked me like he's like a real serious like old head like
yeah.
as trademark old head as it gets and he was asking me if I'd ever heard of Jesus Walks and I was like no I've never heard of it. And he got so pissed at me. And so he's like, "No, when you get home tomorrow, you need to listen to Jesus Walks." And I was like,
Yeah,
"All right, bet." And I did, and it was nuts. And then after that, then I went through his entire discography, and then I came back and I was like, "Okay, I have sinned. I'm sorry. I slept on Kanye West." My
yeah.
so yeah, 100%. He's up there as one of the best.
Oh man, glad you came around though, man.
Yeah,
Good on the other side for sure,
yeah,
dude. That's funny. That's funny as fuck.
yeah,
Yeah, the recent gospel shit, kind of throws people off.
yeah. Right.
He's a little
Yeah,
whack. He's a
yeah,
little whack with the stuff
yeah.
that he says, but dude, yeah, you can't deny, man.
Right,
He's genius
right.
from early on. But yeah, man, he's my number one for
Mhm.
sure. He's always gonna be there for me. I have a bunch of different influences, so it's gonna be weird. But Metallica, I love Metallica. I've loved Metallica since I was a kid, the
Mhm.
thrash metal band from the '80s. My dad showed me Metallica, and
Uh-huh.
I love that stuff. Just like all metal, I really fuck with metal.
Uh-huh.
I haven't, yeah, just really put it in my stuff. I guess I
Uh-huh.
want to, but
Yeah.
Metallica's up there.
I was about to
You
say,
know, 100.
like, I
Yeah,
was gonna ask like a side question in there. So even
yeah.
since I was like, since you've mentioned like yeah, like rock music is one of your influences as well. What are your thoughts on say for example I guess the also the rise of a lot of hip hop artists, starting to incorporate a lot of rock music into their music as well, like your Trippie Reds, your um
Mhm.
yeah, your Trippie Reds, Mario Judah is becoming a huge thing now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on some of that?
I think it's becoming history at this point. I think
Mm,
rock is officially becoming like a genre of the like really solidifying as history. I think like there was something that was like it takes 50 years for something to become history. And I
mm,
forgot who said that.
mm,
That's some scientific thing.
right.
Um, but like 50 years ago was uh the 80s and now it's the 90s. Well, no, that's like 30 years ago. But like then it's 30 years, whatever it is. But like there was a lot of people like Travis was doing a bunch of synth stuff and Blinding Lights by The Weeknd came out and that was really 80s stuff. And
Right,
now things are becoming really 90s. I
right.
know like a couple artists that are straight up like this is 90s music,
Uh-huh.
right? So there's these layers as time goes on, I think,
Mhm,
of being influenced by a certain area of the past.
mhm,
And like Mario Judah's like Five Finger Death Punch to me, or like
mhm.
Papa Roach. And they
Uh-huh.
were huge in the 90s. They were
Right.
just, there was like another kind of rock thing.
Mm.
Um, and then, I don't know, like 10, 20 years ago, they would like sell Metallica shirts at H&M
Uh-huh.
and stuff. And that was just like that time period, but
Uh-huh.
pushed back.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think we have this kind of just little recycling thing from the past. It's maybe that it was like nostalgic. What was nostalgic to us as a
Mm,
kid is
mm,
being influenced by modern stuff, maybe.
mm.
That's just all a guess. But I think it's a matter of that. I think it's that it's history. I don't think that like there's people. I think maybe yeah, a matter of nostalgia and kind of and principle like that. I don't think people like find rock innovating today. I
Mm,
don't think it's like a hot genre. A
mm,
bunch of the metal stuff sucks. A
mm.
bunch of the metal stuff is the same garbage song that they've been making for 30 years. It's terrible, man. It's utterly terrible. You can't tell if it was made yesterday or 15 years ago.
Right.
It's terrible. Um, so yeah, it's not that there's anything new and exciting happening, even though there's probably some artists doing that, but
Right.
it's not like a huge community yet.
Mm.
I think it's maybe nostalgia. Like Mario Judah is definitely like it's 90s nostalgia, I think,
Uh-huh.
of rock or something.
Uh-huh.
He's crazy, man.
Yeah. Nuts.
Like some of it's hard.
Yeah.
I gotta mess with it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. That stuff's
Mhm.
crazy. But whatever, yeah, yeah, whatever it is that, yeah, that's the rock stuff, man. That's
Uh-huh.
that's on that stuff. All right,
Uh-huh.
we got through 2. All right, we
Yeah.
got it. I'll make them quick. But Kanye, Metallica, 100 Gex, you know them?
Yeah, what?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
I
my
mess with them
goodness.
heavy. I mess with them
Insane.
heavy.
Insane. Wow.
I love them, dude. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. They're so fun, bro. The
Yeah.
music is so crazy and fun to me.
Yeah.
I'm messing with that so
Yeah.
much. They're getting that huge hate wave too.
For
They're
real. For
got that
real.
chipmunk thing. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But no, I love them. Absolutely love them. Definitely top 3. When I heard Money Machine, I was like, okay, this is nuts. This shit, it
Yeah.
got me, man. It got me. Super inspired
Yeah.
by those guys. Kind of Metallica, 100 Gex, and then it's getting kind of crazy. I don't know who I'd have next, man. I don't know. Yeah. I'll throw some out that I really like
Uh-huh.
that
Go ahead. Go
kind of
ahead.
unexpected. I like Florence and the Machine. You know
Mm.
them?
Lawrence
They're
the
this
Machine.
like yeah, they're like this like pop, kind of like grand, like singer kind of
Mm,
thing, but
mm,
it's like kind of orchestral almost.
mm.
But yeah, she's really just about like I don't know. It's kind of like oh man, how do I describe it? It's gonna sound dumb, but it's like the women riding into the stars of like a fairy tale or something. Weird, I know, but like, but she's all like mystical like that and
Uh-huh.
stuff, kind of. She's all you can tell she's like vegan and she like lives in a garden and shit. Like that's like her thing. But I mess with the music.
Right.
I really mess with the music.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I really like Florence and the Machine.
Mm,
I don't know why, but yeah, growing up, they were just I listened to them a bunch and I really liked it.
mm,
And I put on a Florence and the Machine record now, and it still hits. It still
mm,
hits hard for me. I
mm,
really like that stuff.
mm.
So there's that, and then I don't know. I'll name one more. That's
Wow.
crazy. What would I name? Who would I name? I don't know. Yeah, I love Travis, man. Travis is a
Uh-huh.
legend.
Yeah.
Travis is nuts, dude. Yeah, there was like Maria, I'm drunk. The first time I heard Maria, I'm drunk. It
Mm.
was that was a different type of musical
Uh,
experience than I've ever had before.
uh,
It was. was great stuff.
Man.
Yeah, those are some different five, but yeah, that's it.
Uh-huh. Nice. Did I have any more questions?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
oh,
you had
okay,
one more,
yeah.
you said.
So the last question is kind of more about the YouTube stuff because
Yeah.
so like how do I say this right? So I've like right now I've been kind of like yeah, I mean, just kind of, preparing for next year and things like that. And
Mhm.
so I've even been, thinking about like maybe possibly again going into YouTube or whatever. Like I already like, post beats on YouTube. And of course, I put my, my own solo, music on YouTube as well. But I've even been thinking about again, yeah, maybe doing like I don't know, just like I don't know, tutorials or
Yeah.
whatever, or this and that, or all that.
Mhm.
There's so many possibilities for YouTube in terms of how to grow your audience and things like
Yeah.
that. So I guess yeah. So last question is talk a little bit about like some of or kind of like how you got into YouTube and like say maybe some of the software you use to record, how you make your thumbnails or whatever, this and that. Just kind of go into some
Yeah.
a little bit of that process as well.
Yeah, directly on YouTube. Yeah, we could. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That yeah, on YouTube, it all started with what we talked about earlier, which is like I had a niche on YouTube that I
Mm,
knew people were searching for. I
mm,
could find new audiences there,
right.
so it went on to there. That was a huge part about it,
Mm,
and I was like, the audience will grow from there.
mm,
After the YouTube, once that started off,
mm.
I got through my college Premiere Pro to edit the videos. So
Uh,
that was a huge one
mm.
for me, was that, well, that's another good thing about college,
Uh,
that I guess if you pay $200,000, then you have stuff. But yeah, I started with a big like Photoshop and Premiere Pro, which are like hard to learn programs. And then I was like, my life will be easier if I just learn these programs,
uh,
and did those off the bat.
yeah.
You could crack them. You could download them illegally. I am not confirming or denying. I am not recommending or not doing that. I'm on record. I know I'm being recorded as of right now, and I know I'm a public figure to some degree. I am not advising that you crack things.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
It is there. It is
Yeah.
there. Yeah, if you have your own computer and you're willing to take risks, that's what a
Uh,
lot of people do that I don't
yeah.
recommend, specifically. but but yeah, that was a big one, getting it to YouTube for me, because it made YouTube easier and fun once you
Mm,
learn the software.
mm,
Instead of like it being a barrier, like, oh, I have to edit a video now, which
mm,
means that I have to go and do that thing that I hate, which is go into
uh,
that program.
mm,
Having it where like you kind of almost like it, and it's cool to be efficient in Premiere and stuff. Like I like looking up shortcuts for Premiere now,
uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I'm trying to like, yeah, like to get in like shortcuts and
Uh-huh.
customize mine so that it's
Uh-huh.
fast and common things that I
Right.
do. Um, yeah, just being a fan of that, whatever the process is that you're going to be doing a lot, if you're
Mm,
going to be in this thing for the long haul, man.
mm,
Yeah, like if you're going to start this channel and you're really going to start to grow this, and you got your audience and you're set up, yeah, a thing that helped me is liking the things I'm interacting with, or else
mm.
it would be a miserable time and I wouldn't do it. Right?
Right.
It would just be bad. So
Right.
yeah, learning whatever software that you have as much as you could,
Mm,
when you're starting something like a YouTube to edit and doing things, and then again, just fail a lot. That's
right.
what I do. Look at my earlier videos. I think they suck.
Right.
They're bad. Even some
Mm.
of my current videos, like I'm still learning. there's, there's little things about it, man. Like you're constantly learning, dude.
Right.
Um, but yeah, failing a lot. It's definitely, at least the trend line has gotten better a little
Uh-huh.
bit, and
Right.
yeah, I think they're pretty slick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Check out the next one's coming out, man. Check out, but
100%, 100%.
but yeah, dude, it's about like liking the thing too, and just like, okay, well, I'm a video creator now. It's kind of like I'm a filmmaker a bit for YouTube,
Right.
and then failing a lot at it, and trying stuff.
Mm.
What are you gonna make your channel on? Just to talk about, like you said you're putting beats out, right? You're putting
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Like I've been putting out beats since what, April this year, I believe.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, it was kind of because again, yeah. So originally I was just using Soundtrap for to like record and because I do mainly like rap music and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
started using it last year because I so okay. So a little bit of backstory. So
Yeah.
last summer. I went to this music technology program at University of Maryland. And it was like a 1 week session, and they kind of, I guess, kind of laid the groundwork a little bit in terms of getting onto softwares and things like that. So they gave all the participants like a 1 year subscription to Soundtrap. So that's kind of how I
There
kind
you
of
go.
got into that. Yeah. And so yeah, I was doing that to just for recording and stuff like that. And then I didn't start getting into like the production stuff until like earlier this year. So yeah, I've just been putting up beats like every like at least 2 a month, like since April. That's kind of what I've been going for. But yeah, so like yes, but like where I'm at now it's kind of like okay, in terms of like growing a bigger audience and stuff like that. I've been kind of like brainstorming different ideas. Like okay, what are some other things I can go into to grow the audience, but at the same time not necessarily like scrap production in general. Like I don't want to be like a vlogger or anything, but like
Right.
but like yeah, basically like again maybe like something along the lines that you're doing, like again doing tutorials and stuff like that, because especially I feel like a lot of people are kind of starting are kind of starting to see like the potential that there is on Soundtrap in terms of like at free accessible stuff that again anybody can just hop on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what kind of I've just been kind of brainstorming different things on that scale and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's yeah, I think first step, man, find a niche that you could body,
Right.
you know, and
Right.
just have like some small group of people just
Right.
look at different places, bro. If it's a Reddit thread,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
that could be, dude, people could have tens of thousands of fans just
Right.
being on Reddit. That's all, that's the
Yeah.
only app they have on their computer.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
they got is Reddit. Just
Yeah.
find, yeah, some niche, some
Yeah.
idea that you're on that you could connect with
Mm.
and just smash that shit, man. And just
Yeah.
like be the top dog in that thing.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, yeah, I would even be like, well, if you know Soundtrap, start doing Soundtrap tutorials. But I did that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, it's like a small like thing that you could do and
Yeah.
you good at and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, dude, yeah, brainstorming like that. I'm sorry I don't have like an answer for it.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
love
it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. Yeah,
I love to
like
brainstorm with
even
you.
at like like at the top of like, well, I guess not at the top, but like so we're at towards the top of my ideas. It's like okay, um, especially because I see a lot of like other people doing it for like other like DAWs and stuff like that. It's like just doing like recreating like popular songs and stuff like that and
Yep.
stuff like that. I know that's kind of popular. So even like earlier this week, I was messing around with like I was messing around on Soundtrap and like recreated like a little some. I mean, I think it's kind of close. I recreated Blinding Lights, and I was just like, and again, I'm just using like the free version. I'm like, I could just probably put this on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
man.
because.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Like, okay, just see what's popular at the moment, integrate it into what I'm doing pretty much every day. Whatever, and then just put it up on YouTube and see what the people have to say and all that. So,
Heck yeah, man. Heck
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, man, experiment with that, man. Get it out. Do a
yeah,
bunch of stuff, man.
yeah,
If you're just going on there for fun, then that's a
yeah,
golden period. Don't lose it,
yeah,
bro. You're
yeah,
going on just making stuff.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And put it up and see what sticks, bro. Because you could
100%.
do that, bro. You could literally put whatever you want out, and that slowly will grow an audience. Like you do
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
just slow it. Like if you have like a dedicated niche with a community,
right.
like you could do anything, man. You could put anything out. I know people with more subscribers than me who have just
Uh-huh.
been putting out music for a year, and their
Right,
stuff's just and
right.
somehow they see it and they get fans from it, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good either way. But bro, yeah, hit me up if you any got questions about this shit, man.
Yeah,
Because we're
yeah,
all
100%.
about out here, man. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, man.
100%. Yeah, yeah. So that's all the questions. Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you
Yep.
so much for your input, your advice, and all that kind of stuff. And I can now say, before Frogtone hits 1 million subscribers, I got a one-on-one interview before Complex and all them hit the man up. I can say I'm a day one. I got the inside scoop first. So yeah, thank you so much for all that.
Word, bro. Word, bro. I'm happy to do it, man. You're cool as fuck, dude. Like
Thank you.
it's
Appreciate
nice that it wasn't a bad interview.
it.
That could have really happened, you know?
Yeah,
Could have
yeah,
happened. It could have been that we were just like cold answering questions, but
right,
no, you're cool as fuck, man. So
right.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
this wasn't even really an interview. It was more like a conversation, pretty much. I
Hell yeah,
mean,
dude.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. So I'm just saying, yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Definitely, I'll be staying tuned to whatever Frog Tone has next in the future. Definitely, 100%. When the school is the institution is set up, I will be first in line, 100%. So,
Bro, I'll give you my word right now. You got it for free. Whatever it is. Whatever we're getting now, bro, you're in.
yeah,
Guarantee you.
100%. Appreciate that.
Whatever it is, the
Yeah,
course. It'll be in the next like year and a half, maybe. I'll release like
year and a
$100 course.
half. Bet. All right.
I'm gonna do that shit. You got it for free, guaranteed, bro.
Yeah,
Gotcha. You just
100%.
gotta hit me up with your email.
Yeah,
When we
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Whatever comes out, be like, hey, by the way, bro,
Yeah.
I'm ready to say that you're doing it. You're going.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
That,
But
yeah.
shit. Before I go, I want to say something. What I want to
Uh-huh.
say before we go, bro. Fucking what I want to say. Oh, I'm forgetting it now. We have so many ideas, and now I forget it when it's time to.
Yeah. You should have recorded it. You should have gotten your phone and recorded it.
There we go, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. No, wait, man, I had it too, and I forgot about it. Swear to God. Oh yeah, could I put this on the channel, man? Could I?
Oh,
Could we
yeah,
put
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. However, you could get the recording to me, like a
Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
Drive file, maybe you could send
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
Google Drive.
I think it saves as like an MP4 or something like that. So I could send it to you as like a Google Drive link and
Cool.
like send it through that.
All right, cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got my email to send it.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. But yeah.
Google Drive thing. All right, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
so
pretty cool,
much.
man. Thank you, bro. This
Yeah.
is awesome. Sounds great, man.
All
All
right.
righty, homie.
All right. You take care.
You too, bro. Peace.
All right.